Hello, welcome into PSN. This is our annual postseason baseball show where we make our predictions for the offseason. I'm Marshall Steele, and let's meet the rest of our panel.
I'm Reed, and I'm ready for an action-packed October.
I'm Simrath, and I'm counting on the days till the Pirates will be in the playoffs.
So we're going to go with the divisional matchups first, starting in the NL. We have the many people's favorites, the Philadelphia Phillies, facing off against the Cincinnati Reds. I like Philly and take this as a sweep, actually. I think their pitching is just way too much for the Reds to handle. And the Reds pitching just really doesn't scare me that much. I think Philly's offense is clicking at the right time. I think they're going to be able to really hammer it to them.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with you on this one. Philadelphia is just too much for the Reds to handle. The 1-2-3 punch with their pitching is just probably the best in baseball, and the lineup is it's pretty solid throughout. So look for them to roll.
I think the better question is whether or not the Reds will win a single game rather than the series. I say they won't win a single game. Everybody talks about the Reds lineup, but arguably what the Phillies did was more impressive. Jimmy Rollins missed a bunch of time this year. Ryan Howard missed time. Chase Utley missed time. And Shane Victorino missed time. They still finished second overall in runs. Their lineup is every bit as good, and then they have the H2O, and the Reds can't even come close to matching that. I'm going to pick the Phillies, and it's not even close.
All right, then. Looks like everybody's going for the Phillies in this one. So the next matchup is the NL West winners, San Francisco Giants, against the wild card team, the Atlanta Braves. I like the Giants in this one, actually. I think that the Giants' pitching is superior right now. I think they've got one of the best three-headed monsters in the league right now. Whereas the Braves, they've been struggling lately, and I don't think their offense can really keep up with the Giants at the moment. I think they've limped into the playoffs, and I think they're going to limp home.
Yeah, the pitching is actually the reason I'm going to pick Atlanta in this one. It comes down to who has experience in the postseason, and none of the Giants pitchers have pitched in the postseason yet. You have Derek Lowe, who was sensational for the Red Sox in the past, and you have Tim Hudson, who's had a bunch of games in the playoffs. So I look for them to, they know how to play in big games, and I also think their offense is slightly better, so I'm looking for them to take this one.
Well, these two teams are basically clones. Neither team had a 100 RBI producer all year, which is pretty bad. But I actually like the Giants pitching trio better with John Sanchez, Tim Lincecum, and Matt Cain over Derek Lowe, Tommy Hanson, and Tim Hudson. And Tim Hudson really struggled down the stretch, and he was the ace. But two things to consider. First off, the Braves had the worst road record out of any of these playoff teams, 35-46. And the Giants have home field advantage, so that's something to really think about. And then also, the Braves are missing Chipper Jones and Marian Prado, and those are two key players. And ultimately, I just think the Giants' momentum, the Braves were a better team in July and June than they are now. The injuries and the home field advantage are too much. I'll pick the Giants in 4.
All right, now we move on to the AL, where the first matchup is between the AL East winning Tampa Bay Rays and the Texas Rangers, who are somewhat surprising this season. I'm actually going to pick the upset in this one. I think the Rangers are going to be able to pull this one off. I think where the key is in this one is between the Rays pitching and the Texas offense. I think Texas's offense has looked really good this season, and they've got Hamilton back now, always going to provide a lift and add another big bat to an already hard-hitting offense. And Tampa Bay's pitching has really struggled so far. I mean, they've, especially of late, they really have not looked good, and I don't think they're going to look good now. I'm going to take the Rangers in probably 5 games.
Make some good points, but Tampa Bay was still the best team in the AL, and they were also in the hardest division in baseball. So, they've got to be considered one of the favorites coming out. They continually got it done all year against tough opponents, and I look for them to have this one.
This is probably the most unpredictable series of the first round. I thought something to keep in mind here, the battle of injuries. Who's healthier, Josh Hamilton or Evan Longoria? Josh Hamilton came out and said a couple days ago he's still very, very sore. So I'll give the advantage to Longoria here. I think experience here for the Rays wins out. Their pitchers have had experience before in the postseason. They've been here before. They've done this. And there's also a sense of urgency. The Rays are going to go through a huge payroll slash next year. This is their time to shine. I think they get it done in 5 games because it really is a toss-up.
All right, moving on to the other matchup. We've got the defending champs, the New York Yankees, against the Minnesota Twins in this one. I personally like the Yankees in this one. As much as I hate to say it, I think they are really the better team here. I think what it comes down to is the experience factor. I think the Yankees are all around just more experienced. They know how to win in the playoffs. They've done it before. And the Twins, I mean, I don't think they have enough. Morneau's still out right now. I don't know whether that'll be a big factor. But I think that in the end, it's going to come to that 5th game, and I think the Yankees are going to pull it off.
Yeah, you got to go with the Yankees. You always know what you're getting from the Yankees. They're there every year. And as you said, Morneau is out. That's crucial. And their offense just isn't going to be able to keep up with the Yankees without Morneau. So, taking the Yankees.
The thing about the Yankees is we know they have a better lineup, but they also have a better pitching staff. I think with Sabathia, Pettit, and Hughes over the Twins with Liriano, Pavano, and Brian Duensing. I just trust the Yankees more. They have a better lineup. I still think the Twins really miss Justin Morneau. Their cleanup hitter right now, Delman Young, only had 21 home runs, and the third hitter, Joe Mauer, only had 7. They need power. They don't have it right now. The Yankees have too much of it. Even though the Twins are in a new field and they have all kinds of energy going, that might be enough to get them a game. But they're not going to get 3 games from the Yankees. I'll take the Yankees in 4.
So we move on to the championship series, first starting with the National League. I had the Giants and the Phillies moving on, and this one I'm going to take the Phillies to go on to the World Series yet again. I think that this one really comes down to the pitching matchups, because I think both of these teams have some of the best pitching lineups in all of baseball. But I think what it comes down to, essentially, is the Phillies' experience. They've been here before. They're not newcomers anymore. They've done it twice in a row now, and they're going to make it 3 times in a row moving on. I'll take the Phillies in 6.
Yeah, in this series I had the Phillies and the Braves. This is actually my upset special. I'm picking the Braves, mainly because it's Bobby Cox's last year. I like the intangibles here. These are also 2 teams that know each other very well and played each other a lot during the season and know how to play each other. And it's going to be close, and it's going to be a 7-game series, I think, if the Braves are going to pull it off, and I like them in 7.
I have the Giants and the Phillies in my NLCS, and I really think the Giants have everything going for them here. Momentum, great pitching, great defense, great bullpen. They have all the intangibles going right now, but really the difference is the hitting. The Phillies just have too much right now. The Giants just don't have anybody to match. No 100 RBI guys, like I said before. I think the Giants can bring everything they have here. This will be arguably the best series in all the postseason playoffs, but I think the Phillies just get it done in 7 games. Too much experience, maybe next year for the Giants.
All right, then let's move on to the American League, where I personally have the Yankees and the Rangers in this one. I do like the Rangers a lot. I think they're a gritty squad. I think they would have a chance, but I think the Yankees' experience just wins out here. I think Texas' luck will run out in the end, and when it comes down to that Game 7 in New York, I think the Yankees will take it.
Yeah, I have Yankees and the Devil Rays in this one. Actually, just the Rays. Sorry, they dropped the Devil. But yeah, I think, as you said, experience wins out. You think Jeter's gonna let these young guys take care of him? A-Rod, I mean, who cares what A-Rod does because they have Teixeira. So offense rolls. Old guys take it.
I have the Rays and the Yankees in the ALCS. I'm going to pick the Yankees even though the Rays won the division and subsequently have home field advantage. I think what you have with the Rays is you have a team that's not necessarily an offensive powerhouse like the Yankees. They rely on base running and stealing. I know that was one of their big things, B.J. Upton and Carl Crawford, whereas the Yankees have much more power in the middle of the lineup. I think that wins out. And pitching-wise, surprisingly, I like the Yankees' balance. Whereas behind David Price for the Rays, Matt Garza and James Shields have both been very inconsistent at times. I just think overall the Yankees have too much and they'd win in 6 if that was the matchup.
All right, so then we finally move on to the series that really counts, the World Series. I have a rematch of last year, the Yankees and the Phillies. I think, though, it's going to turn out a little differently than it did last year. I think the reason why is 2 things. One, the fact that the home field advantage now lies with the Phillies, which I think is very big for them. Second of all, the big problem that the Phillies had last year was they did not have the pitching to keep up with the Yankees. And now they definitely do. With Halladay, Oswalt, and Hamels, they're going to be able to really handle the Yankees, hang with them on offense, hang with them on defense, and this is going to be a tough-fought series, but I'm taking the Phillies in 7.
I have the Braves and the Yankees in this one, and it's going to be the Yankees. They win every 4 years on average, right? They're the only team that can win in this day and age back-to-back, I think, just because there's so much money pouring in there. And, yeah, just they're going to run it back-to-back, so Yankees.
I have the Yankees and the Phillies, and I'd go with the minor upset here with picking the Yankees. I think it'll be the same thing as last year. Yankees in 6 over the Phillies. I think it's a great theory that the H2O now could finally match up. with the Yankees hitting staff, but I still don't trust Hamels completely. I still don't trust Oswalt completely. I know Halladay can get it done, but like last year, whereas Cliff Lee just basically stole the 2 games and the Phillies just were completely overmatched in every other game, I think the same thing could happen again this year. The Yankees lineup is just like anything else. The Phillies play in the NL, and I just think experience and all the experience just went out in the series.